Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over the bidding strategy that I use for new campaigns. So I'm going to be going over exactly how I set up new campaigns with their bidding strategy, especially ones that don't have a ton of conversion data yet, and how I change that bidding strategy over time. This is a campaign I'm running currently for a client. I just recently created it, and you can see right here in May it had 53 clicks, in April it had no clicks. So it was launched at the very end of May. You can see the clicks have increased in June. So it's not a huge campaign or anything like that. We're just starting to gather more and more data. So what I want to go over is the bidding strategy that I use, and this is typically what I use for most of the campaigns that I run. I'm going to go through everything in the video, but I quickly want to go over my bid strategy process just so you can see the step-by-step process that I use for new campaigns. And it can kind of vary. It really depends on the campaign you're running. It depends on the budgets you're running. It depends on the conversions that you're driving. But basically my bid strategy process for new campaigns without conversion data. So this means you're not able to use some of the target CPA or target return on ad spend bidding strategies that are available through Google Ads. I start with the Google Keyword Planner. I'll find what other advertisers are bidding for the same keywords that I'm planning on targeting. That will help me understand some of the top of the page bids that advertisers are using, basically looking at bid ranges. So the highest bids, the lowest bids, and helps you get an idea of how much you should bid. I generally bid slightly higher than the lowest bid, and I usually don't bid nearly as high as the highest bid. So some of the other advertisers are willing to spend more usually than I'm willing to spend. Next, as I set up campaigns, I make sure I set up conversion tracking, because without conversion tracking, you really can't use any of the different bid strategies like target CPA or target return on ad spend. The ultimate goal of Google Ads is to make sure you're driving conversions for your website, for your business, to increase leads, increase revenue. I usually target modified broad match and exact match keywords. I'll bid slightly higher on the exact match keywords because modified broad match allows me to reach some of the more long tail keywords that people are typing in, and exact match keywords allow me to focus on some of the keywords that are going to drive conversions for my business. Now, the next thing I do is, as I'm setting up bids, I'll start with the Manual CPC bidding strategy, and I'll use Enhanced CPC. So I'll show you how to do all of this, but usually through your campaign settings, as you're setting up your campaign, you can choose the Manual CPC bidding strategy, and there's just going to be a little checkbox where you just check to use Enhanced CPC. Enhanced CPC allows Google Ads to increase or decrease your bids when a conversion is more likely or less likely. So as you start getting more conversion data, Enhanced CPC will allow Google Ads to increase and decrease your bids to help drive more conversions within your budget. Now, last but not least, once you start driving more and more conversions, you usually get a notification in your account, or you'll see it on the Google Ads recommendations page where you can switch to target CPA or switch to target return on ad spend. Generally, the rule of thumb is to have at least 15 conversions over the course of a 30-day period, but really what you want to do is you want to make sure you're testing your campaign. So if you start to get conversions pretty quickly, but you haven't tested a lot of the different keywords, you're only getting clicks from a few keywords, you might want to increase bids in different areas. So this is really where you want to test as much as possible before you switch over to some of these different bidding strategies. But once you are able to switch to target CPA or target return on ad spend, as you start getting some of that conversion data in, that's when you want to switch over to them and then just continuously improve your campaign over time so you can maximize conversions or maximize return on ad spend. So now I'm going to go back to Google Ads. I'm going to show you this step-by-step process using Google Ads with a campaign that I'm currently running. So when it comes to keywords, the main thing I do is I'll target keywords when I'm first getting started. I'll target the modified broad match version of the keyword and the exact match version of the keyword. So if you just see, this is a list of some of the keywords that I'm targeting. You can see some of the data over here to the right hand side. But what I want to do is I want to show you, as I come over here to the keyword planner, under here where I do discover new keywords. So if I click here on discover new keywords, you're probably wondering, how do you come up with an initial keyword bid? So what I'll do is, if you do start with keywords, let's just take the example here. So if I do back brace, let's say I do maternity back brace, and I'll enter a few more keywords here. Okay, so what I've done here is under discover new keywords, I'm doing start with keywords. You can start with a website as well and just enter your website URL. I entered a few different keywords here. So back brace, maternity back brace for men. I am going to include brand names and results. You can include or exclude. So we'll just include it for now. We'll just see everything that comes up, and then enter domain to use as a filter. So I'm going to enter this domain here, zerocompressionbackbrace.com. So what I'm going to do next is click on get results. So when it comes to your initial bids, the best way to find the initial bid that you probably need to set for some of the keywords that you're targeting is to look at the low range bid. So it's the top of page bid low range, and then they also have the top of page bid high range. So this is the higher range of what advertisers are paying for this keyword. So you don't necessarily need to bid this high for some of these different keywords, but you can get an idea of the range between low bids and high bids for some of the things that advertisers are bidding on for these keywords. So as I look through all these different keywords, you can see the bids kind of vary. So things that are related to medical, things that are related to scoliosis seem to be a little bit higher. So you can see the top of page bid over here is $5 for this scoliosis one. Scoliosis brace, $1.23 all the way up to $6. And if I come down here to medical back brace, you can see $1.45 all the way up to $7. So a little bit more expensive for some of those keywords. But for the most part, something like best back brace, back braces for lower back pain, you can see the range is maybe between 35 cents, 38 cents to 75, 80 cents. So you can kind of get an idea of where you want to start your initial keyword bids. And it's really going to vary. So one thing you can do is you can start to use some of the forecast data that Google allows you to do. So if you start building a plan out, so let's just say I add all these keywords here. We'll just pretend like I'm going to build a very quick plan. Obviously, you want to do this a little bit better. But what you can do is just click on add to plan, and we're going to add the keywords. You can do add to a new ad group. So we'll just do plan example, create. We'll just say we'll add them as broad match keywords for right now. I generally would not do this, but we're just going to click on add keywords just so we can look at some of the forecast data. So now once we add that, what we can do is click on plan overview over here. And I'm going to go through this in a little bit more detail, how to use a plan overview, how to use some of this forecast data. But what you can see here, it's saying you can get 3.1 thousand clicks for $5,000 and a $3 max cost per click. So if I'm setting a $3 max cost per click, that's around what I'm going to get for my campaign. So let's just say I want to set my max cost per click around 62 cents. So now I'm setting it at a 62 cents max cost per click. It's going to say my plan can get 760 clicks for $370. You can see what some of the top keywords are going to be here, devices, locations. So you can get a lot of different data and kind of have an understanding of what you need to bid. So for example, if your monthly budget is something like $5,000, you probably are going to have to add more keywords here and set a max cost per click bid of maybe around $2, $3. So obviously as you add more keywords, it's more that you're targeting. So it'll help bring down your cost per click a little bit. But here's what we're going to do is I created this campaign already, and I'll give you a quick overview of it. So it's a search campaign. You can see all the different ad groups we have. It's all related to back braces, medical back braces, back support braces, for sciatica, for women. This is the brand name right here. So lower back brace. So all of these different things right here. And you can see my average cost per click for each individual ad group. So you can kind of get an idea of some of the different cost per click it's going to give me for each individual ad group. And that's based on the bids that I set. So if I'm just looking at search keywords here, you can see some of my bids. So for my modified broad match keywords, I'm basically bidding anywhere from 70 cents to 80 cents for most of these keywords. Now, as some of these keywords start to drive more conversions, so you can do this by looking at the all conversions column. Obviously, you need conversion tracking set up in order to be able to use this. You can see that I'm bidding a little bit higher for some of these over here that are driving conversions. And as we come down, things that haven't driven conversions yet, more down 70 cents, 75 cents. So you can really update these over time as you start to drive more conversions. But you might see something here like back support brace. Even though it's saying I'm below the first page bid, I've set my bid slightly lower because I've driven 35 clicks and no sales. So that's a pretty bad conversion rate if it continues like that. So I want to make sure I'm bidding slightly lower on some of these keywords. So when it comes to my initial bidding strategy with Google Ads, I'm going to come over to settings here. Generally what I'll start with is enhanced CPC bidding. So I'll start with a manual CPC bidding strategy and I enable enhanced CPC. So I actually use a portfolio strategy here. You can see my portfolio strategy is just called Enhanced CPC. But basically what you do is under Manual CPC here, when you use it, you see help increase conversions with Enhanced CPC. So that's generally what I'll start with. I don't really use maximize conversions that often. I don't really use maximize clicks that often. I'm going to have a follow-up video for some of the reasons why I don't use maximize conversions, maximize clicks, or some of these other bidding strategies. I really start with manual CPC and I use enhanced CPC. and I use some of the data that I can find in the keyword planner. So you can just come right here to keyword ideas. I use all of this data to give me some ideas of where I should be bidding for these keywords. So if I see bids like this, I might set my keywords right around 70 cents, 80 cents. Sometimes you can start them even lower. Maybe you started at 40, 50, 60 cents. So it really depends on your overall goals, what you're trying to accomplish, and really how much your monthly budget is. So I generally start campaigns a little bit slower so that I'm not wasting a ton of budget in the beginning. Now, once I start getting some data coming into my campaign, what I'll do is I'll switch over to an automated bidding strategy. So you can see before when I came over here, it told me to use a smart bidding strategy to optimize for conversions. So that's what I'm going to do now. So what I like to do is when you come in here to the recommendation screen, they might tell you to switch to a target CPA or target return on ad spend bidding strategy. They might also show it right up here in the notifications to switch to an automated or smart bidding strategy, something like target CPA or target return on ad spend. So I'm going to be using target return on ad spend since I do actually have conversion value coming into my campaign. So I'm going to come over here to tools, and what I'm going to do is under shared library, I'm going to go to bid strategies. So now if we come here to the bid strategies page, there's a few different options that we can switch to. There's target return on ad spend, there's target CPA. So target CPA is target cost per acquisition. One of the issues you might run into as you're still building up more and more conversion data is if we come back over here to settings, and let's say you go to your bidding strategy and you're going to change to one of these two bidding strategies. And we'll just use target return on ad spend real quick. We have target return on ad spend right here, and I click on save. One of the error messages you might get is to use the selected bid strategy, you'll need more conversions. So that just means you're going to need to get more data before Google Ads will allow you to run the target return on ad spend bid strategy. Now, if we come here and use target CPA, and we have our target CPA at this price, recommended target CPA here, we can click on save. And if it allows us to do that, that means we can start with the target CPA and always move to the target return on ad spend as we get more and more data. So what I want to do is I want to come over here to bid strategies, and I want to click to create a new bid strategy. We're going to be using target CPA, and what we're going to do is we're going to add it to our campaign right here. One thing you can do is as you start getting more conversion data from multiple campaigns, so we have a Google Shopping campaign here, it's running Manual CPC with Enhanced CPC. As we start getting more data for that campaign, we can set a target CPA for both campaigns. Maybe you're running a remarketing campaign as well. So you can use all of those campaigns to really maximize the total conversions that you're sending. We're going to click here, and what we can do is add it to that campaign, but I'm not going to do that for right now. So we're going to get rid of this. We're just going to focus on this campaign right here, and we're going to click on done. Now we just need to name our campaign and set our target CPA. Okay, so I named the campaign. We're going to set our target CPA here, and I'm just going to do $76 for now. So it's $76.59. Hopefully we can continue to get this lower and lower. That's ultimately the goal of using a target CPA bid strategy. Under advanced options here, under maximum bid limit, what we can do is set a bid limit right here. So maybe I just want to set my bid limit at $1 for now. You can increase or decrease this over time. You can also set minimum bid limits. The reason why I create portfolio bid strategies is because I like to use the bid limit here. I've worked with advertisers where the bid limit was, $5, $6, $7. It's a little bit higher, so you're trying to drive as many conversions as possible. If you increase your bid limit, it allows Google Ads to test a little bit more with different keywords. So some of the keywords, maybe if it's, $1.04 to get on the first page of search results, you're going to need to increase that bid limit slightly right there. If you have it too low, it means Google Ads isn't able to test some different keywords because your bid's just simply not high enough compared to your ad rank, compared to your quality score. So your bid goes into your ad rank based on your quality score. So what you can do is if you do have low bids, you can try to also improve your quality score over time. That's a lesson for another video. We have a few videos about increasing your quality score and improving your ad rank without increasing your bids too much. So we can set this at $1 for right now. And what I can always do is go back later and increase or decrease it. So we can click on save. And now it's going to show this new bid strategy here. They're both going to be active right here. So one thing you might want to do is just come back over to settings. We're just going to reload this page real quick. Now it should update. So our bidding strategy right here is set at $76 for target CPA. Our budget right now is $20 per day. Google Ads is recommending that I increase my budget so that they can test a little bit more. The higher your budget is, the more you're going to be able to test. So if you have a budget of $100 per day, $200 per day, it's much easier to test some of these different bid strategies and collect more data for your campaign. However, a lot of advertisers run into the same issue where, especially when you're getting started with Google Ads, you're not spending a ton of money. You don't want to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars doing tests, especially if you're not driving a ton of conversions for that cost. So hopefully I can continue to increase this budget over time. But for the time being, my target CPA bid strategy, I have it at $76. I have my maximum bid limit at $1. And now what we do is we continue to collect data. You continue to keep adding ad groups. So I just showed how to add a dynamic search ads ad group. I'm going to continue to build out this campaign and test. And you can always go back to that enhanced CPC bidding strategy and test some of the different keywords a little bit more, especially if you're not seeing a ton of improvement as you switch to this new bid strategy. Now I'm going to go back over my process just one more time. Okay, so to quickly recap, show this one more time, you can see my bid strategy process for new campaigns. So using the keyword planner, finding bid ideas, setting up campaigns, targeting some different keywords, using the bids that I found in keyword planner. So using some of those estimates that keyword planner gave me is where I'll start my bids. You can always increase or decrease them over time, especially as you start to get more conversion data. Using the manual CPC bidding strategy with enhanced CPC, and then ultimately switching to target CPA or target return on ad spend and focusing on those bidding strategies so I can continuously improve my campaigns. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.